Welcome to the Chronic Health Collective. This isn't just community, it's your fresh start. We've gathered the best coaches and experts to help you reclaim your energy, heal from the inside out, and live with purpose. Whether you're longing for more energy, deeper healing in your relationships, or a life that feels more aligned and fulfilling, you're not alone anymore. I'll find my cursor here. So Valentine's is over. Bubble baths are cold. And now it's time to get radical. I'm Amanda Beth, intuitive healer and wellness coach, and joining us today is Kristy Boyd Johnson. Tonight on the Chronic Health Collective, we are riding into the year of the fire horse, a rare year of bold moves, accelerated change, and deep transformation. This isn't about soft self-care, another round of resolutions you've already feel yourself rebelling against. It's about igniting your inner fire after divorce, chronic stress, after years of shrinking yourself to keep the peace. It's about the kind of self-love that asks you to meet your shadows, the old patterns, the repeated attractions, the wounds that keep choosing the same story again and again. And finally, choose something different. If you've ever wondered, why do I keep ending up with the same kind of partner? Or why do I abandon myself the moment someone else needs me? This episode is your invitation to burn brighter, not smaller, and to stop fixing the surface and start healing from within. So, Kristy, when someone says, when you hear that phrase, radical self-love, what do you think people misunderstand the most?
Oh, that's a great question.
We're just going to hit this hot.
I think that there's a level of it programming instilled in us that says if you practice self-love, you are selfish. You are even narcissistic, which is a different thing. Radical self-love is stepping away from all that programming and putting yourself first in the way that fills you up so that you can give back, give out to your family, your friends, your community, your job, whatever it is. Because otherwise we just get so depleted. But I think there's a programming in there that we're somehow selfish.
Yeah, that programming that we need to undo, because it's really about relational honesty with yourself. You know, I talk a lot about that. If you don't take care of yourself, you can't take care of someone else. You know, you can't pour from an empty cup. But it is so true. If you don't love yourself and care for yourself, then there's no way you can care for others, because you're constantly pouring from that emptiness. And I think that looking at, because we're talking a bit about the shadow work here, and I think shadows, people are thinking, oh, that's all the negative stuff. And for me, especially coming into this whole fire horse energy, you know, that's happening today. Today's the first day of the Chinese New Year, and coming into this energy, especially since we're coming out of a year of the snake. And I'm not big on all of this stuff. This isn't something that I follow a lot. But at the end of last year, and everyone was talking about the resolutions and that we were coming out of the snake energy and transforming. And so for me, energetically, it really accounted for a lot of that feeling. Yeah, I was shedding my skin. I was growing bigger. And we're growing bigger because we really need to embrace this fire horse energy, the fire being that energy of vitality, truth, and total transformation. I mean, we've got a new skin here.
Yay!
Yay! As we wiggle out of that this last couple of months has been just so hard energetically. And when you listen to the mass conscious, which I work really diligently not to play into that hand. But yeah, going into the fire of, that vitality, truth, and transformation. And then when you couple that with the horse energy of autonomy and momentum, the instinct and that freedom that we can look forward to this year. And I love the idea of not ending, not using our calendar year as the energetic year, kind of giving
Yeah.
us that restart to 2026 for me. So again, it's not about fixing yourself. I think to have that radical self-love, we look at that mirror, that lady at the grocery store, that person at the grocery store, that you're watching them, and as they interact with the world, you're just like, I don't like this person, this energy. And it's like, oh, that is our mirror. The things
Mm.
that we see in other people are the things that we are dealing with in ourselves that we don't like.
Mm.
And that's what I think is kind of that first invitation into that shadow work. This person's being sassy, they're being bossy, um, those type of things, is to learn about yourself so that you can bring that best energy forward. How does that sit with
Yeah.
you? Those
I
mirrors, I hate those mirrors.
Yeah, I think we all hate those mirrors. It's so much easier to blame and
Mhm.
push it out like, oh, they're wrong. Oh, they're the problem. And the mirrors are important. And you know what's a great challenge? Here's a great challenge. Can you look in that mirror and see that bossy or kind of rude checker or whatever person around you that's doing that? And 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 go, I can see it, but I'm still going to come back with, politeness or kindness. And, it doesn't always work, but I'm amazed sometimes at how often it does work. When you start reflecting back kindness to them, you see these faces like, what? What's
Yeah, I
happening
just
here?
said something really nasty and crappy, and you're gonna hug me with love.
Yeah. Yes.
Charlotte Anderson, she wrote the book, Candy Bar Hugs. And so as she would be checking out at a grocery store, she would engage in conversation with the clerks and say, hey, how's your day? What's your favorite candy bar? And then she would reach down and grab that candy bar and pay for it and give it to the checkout,
Oh,
to like really lighten it up and to do those things. And I think that when we're able to reach down, and what is, I cannot remember I think it's actually a social work concept, the mirror match and model. When you see someone else's behavior that's like really unbecoming, you can mirror the behavior you want to see. So the person who's having a really rough day and you come in with the kindness, and or is, has the rough edges, and you show them that kindness and compassion, so that then they start to mirror, and they match, and mirror match and model. So
mm,
you're showing people what you want to see from them, which I think is good. But I also think that looking at what it is, what are the biggest things that you see in people that you don't like about them?
right. And that's where you start.
That's where you start. That
Because
is your invitation to, okay, what in me is needing this work? And when you look at
yes.
the people that we attract, it's filling that void. It's like constantly coming in. For me, I think one of my biggest character flaws is that needing to be needed. And I think this can go back for a lot of people, and people that I work with, the caretakers that are constantly out over caring, over giving, and then they're so burnt out. And the reality is they are looking for someone to care for them,
Mm.
but by attaching to someone that they are continuously caring for, they're mirroring that behavior that they want to see back.
Are you talking directly to me, Amanda? Because
Oh no, I'm looking at me too, and I'm looking at so many of the people that I work with.
yeah,
They're absolutely wonderful humans, and
yeah.
we're stuck in that pattern, like you said. We're told that self-care is selfish, and this is not where we need to be going, and it's just so yeah, to stay grounded and to stay in that. But I think that that's where we first need to understand that this radical self-love that I'm talking about today is looking at and the shadow self. I mean, this comes from the concept of Carl Jung. This has been in psychology for forever.
Decades, yes.
And you know, when I was in college and doing my psychology degree, it really didn't mean a whole lot. And now that I have life experience, it's like, oh, this is what he's talking about. Because, you know, at the time you're young, you know, life is all good and you don't realize that. But the shadows are that part of you that for one reason or another, and usually it's because of the beliefs that we've been given, that's been handed down, the expectations, these are the bad parts, or the parts that we don't want to really expose. And so we shove them down, shove them down, shove them down. Well, those parts are screaming to be let out by the people they bring to us. And so we need to take a look at those, because not all of those things are bad things. Oftentimes there are gifts, you know, that gifts of intuition and spirituality and your belief work. It's true to you and maybe not to your family of origin or your circle.
Right. And your circle. So just so everybody knows, when you start this work, be ready. Your circle will change. It just will. There will be people who they'll say to you things like, you've changed and I don't understand you. And what that's code for is you're growing and they're not. So you have to diverge. It's just natural. It's not bad or good.
No.
It's you, if you're choosing growth and acceleration into self-care, fire horse energy, etc. And if you know, and then two, there's something to be said for people who are trying to hold you back. Like, why, you know, if they're threatened by your movement, maybe that's okay to let them go, because that's their shadow that they need to deal with. It's not our responsibility to make them see it.
No, it's not. And it's really, really hard, because as you see your circle change, as you feel your circle change, as you drop away your old habits and your old beliefs about those that keep you small and compressed and compact into this manageable little container, then there is a period of essentially loneliness as you start to evolve and develop the true energetic person or being, and have the vibe that you're meant to have. That vibe will attract a new circle.
Yes. And it will be threatening to the old circle.
Oh yes. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. Yes, we've had those people who keep everyone in their own little circles.
Yeah. You're in this box. You're in this box.
Yeah. And it doesn't mean that the people who, I mean, everyone has an opportunity to grow and to change. And if they choose not to, then we're going to love them and we will respect them. But we can, like my 7th grade choir teacher said, I can love you from a distance. He would send you to the principal's office. I love you from a distance. And that's what that is. That's that changing circle. And it doesn't mean you'll never speak to him again. It doesn't mean you'll never go and, you know, bump into him in community or even family. And it's really tough when some of these people in your circle are family and they're not fully respecting your need to change and to grow. You know, we're not slamming the door in their face. We're just, what is it? What's that new term? Quiet quitting. You know, kind of moving forward and following what it is that allows you to radically take care of yourself and to start looking at those shadows. Because, yeah, it's going to be so awesome. This year is going to be so amazing.
It is. And I'd like to go deeper with you, Amanda, but I think we have to take a quick break here.
We do. So, yeah.
Stay tuned. We'll be right back, everybody.
She looks like she has it all together, but inside, she's exhausted, disconnected, and asking, is this really it? I'm Amanda Beth. I help visionary women shift from burnout to embodiment, from survival mode to soulful success. Through intuitive healing and aligned strategy, I guide them back to their power so they can lead with clarity, confidence, and calm.
I was floored at how effective and powerful and insightful everything was in this journey. She is amazing, and you should absolutely do it.
This isn't about pushing harder. This is about rising with purpose, prosperity, and peace.
When you look in the mirror, do you see skin that's just dry, tired, and stressed? It's time for a new ritual. Introducing Deep Love, the Blue Botanical Face Cream by Coolness. We've captured their tranquil essence of blue botanicals in a cloud-soft formula that deeply soothes irritation and restores your natural, healthy glow. This isn't just skincare, it's an act of self-care. It's deep love. Find your calm only at coolness.com. Scan the QR code now to visit our website.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Chronic Health Collective. We are here today with Amanda Beth, intuitive healer, and she is rocking this discussion about radical self-love.
Well, it just seems fitting, coming into this fire horse energy, and
it is.
And I think that in order to get the most out of this year, in order to continue with this amazing energetic opportunity that we have, it is looking at those shadows and doing that, and kind of rephrasing that shadows are the unintegrated survival strategies. They're the things that we have really squashed down, thinking that that's what we need to do in order to survive, in order to survive in our current circle, our current job, our current, keeping status quo, keeping everybody happy, that people pleasing that we do. And so I'm encouraging you to pull out those things that you've been hiding or you think might be bad or broken or shameful, because they're not. They're part of you. They're part of what brings you up. And when you can make peace with them, and oftentimes this shadow stuff comes back to a lot of inner child work, finding that inner child and where your inner child is at. And a lot of times when we think about inner child, I think we think about, the 3 and 4 year olds.
Yeah.
Wait till your teenage inner child comes up, because that is really interesting. And I think that, I was able to process a lot of shadows that came through there. It was just like, she was so sassy. She was so mean. She was so everything. But
I
when
can't
you
imagine you being mean.
what's that?
I can't imagine you being mean.
Oh, but I don't think it wasn't the real me. Because I
Oh,
think that that's the thing, is that the inner child represents who you were and felt and everything at that time.
mm.
But who you actually projected is who was covering up the shadows and the inner child, that those needs that were not being met.
Oh, interesting. You know, I think a lot of the resistance to doing this kind of inner work is fear. It's fear that we're going to discover that we're a horrible person, and that we're, all this striving we're doing to prove that we're not. I don't, most people, yes, okay, you have a nasty serial killer. Yeah, maybe that's a bad person. But most people, it's what you think is so terrible is actually your wound, like
It is.
Amanda's saying. And it's, you don't have to be afraid of looking at it.
No, and it comes up, a lot of times it comes up as that rage and that impatience, and turns out to be self-abandonment, because you don't want to deal with the rage you felt. Well, why did you feel the feeling? And I've said this analogy before. When you catch a cold, you have no problem looking at where you got the cold from. Oh, I was around so and so and so and so and so and so, and it had to be here or there that I got this cold. But when we look at why we're sad, or why we're angry, or why we feel love and joy, we don't track down that source.
Mm,
We stuff it.
that's true.
We stuff it. And then we have burnout and, all of these things. It's the body speaking to us when our mind won't listen.
Yes, I'm kind of going through that. I'm just coming off of a really bad 2 weeks of being ill. And I was getting clear messages. It was because I need to be letting go of this old stuff that I still am holding on to for some reason, because I feel like it's a security blanket for some reason.
Yeah.
And moving that fire earth energy is like burning through me. Move, do it. What are you waiting for?
and it's not as easy as going, oh, that's the problem, let's just throw it out. Usually there's some belief work to do down underneath that. How did it get there? What were the beliefs that you had that kept it stuffed?
Mm.
What was it that we were told, that shame and guilt as to why we couldn't express that feeling?
Mm-hmm.
And I talk about, they talk about sitting with your feelings. Well, I think that is just one of the most hopeless things ever that I was told to do. It's like, I feel sad. I'm supposed to sit with feeling sad until I'm not sad anymore. No, you need to understand that sadness.
Yeah.
Understand what the lesson is with that, so that you can let it go. Because
Yes.
only once you let that go, instead of going, oh, don't have time for this now. We got to go back to work. We've got a broadcast to do. We've got a client to see. And when you sweep it under, it just sits there and festers until you pull it out and actually work with it.
Yeah.
And so a lot of times this stuff that we need to do, these chronic illnesses that show up, and I'm not talking necessarily about your cold, but those deep things, deep things that we end up seeking Western medicine, and that it only further
exacerbates it,
suppresses it,
Yes.
keep it down.
Yeah.
That denial, or the over functioning, if I just do this enough, then everyone will love me and I won't have to look at what's festering under the surface.
Amanda, do you think, especially for people, say, over 50, how much have we been programmed, you need a secure job, you need to make money, you don't retire till you're 65, you save up all your money. It doesn't matter if you're in a soul killing job for a corporation that's doing evil things. You have to think about your security. And then you have to, and women especially, then you have to take care of the kids. You have to take care of your husband. You have to take care of your family. You have to take care of your job. You have to take care of. Never is it, do you take care of yourself? Never.
Right. And I think that's one of the things that happens. So we talk about that magical age of 50. There are so many processes changing as women, processes that are changing. Our role as parent oftentimes has dwindled down to nothing. Our kids don't need us anymore. But our housework still needs us. The dishes are still calling, but to create those things. And then you read all of the information with, the hormonal changes that happen with women, and that kind of people pleasing loses a priority because it's no longer hormonally supported. So I think that also lends to this trend of, okay, I've taken care of everybody for so long. Who's going to take care of me? It's going to have to be me. And it does have to be you. You are the one who lives in your body. You are the one who knows what you need for your enjoyment, for your joy, for your pleasure, for contentment in life. No one else can do that for you. But until you can drop that guilt and shame for turning around and shining the light on yourself and taking care of yourself in these radical new ways, and even deeper, to get rid of those things that keep popping up, because you can say, I'm fine for how long?
Yeah.
And then it seeps out.
Fine.
Yeah, I'm fine.
Effed up. What is it? Effed up. What is it? Effed up, something neurotic and emotional. What's the I? I forget the I.
I would say independent.
Insecure.
Okay.
I'm fine.
So much of it goes to, yes, and what we see. And then, if you're turning to the internet or to social media to kind of fix these things, it's not going to fix it, because it's internal. And all of this other stuff, this external stuff, that's not about you. I mean, you can get confirmation bias. Absolutely. I'm not going to look something up unless I already think I know the answer. And then it confirms what it is I thought it was. And so you get the whole confirmation bias in there. But we're looking at that self-love. Like, what am I unwilling to feel or admit? And this is all done within yourself. Now, it's amazing and it's awesome when you have a coach or a mentor to help you keep track of what you're processing and to help share that. Because sometimes if you share this stuff with your immediate circle, they're going to fall off like flies, It's true.
You're losing it, honey.
Yeah. So sometimes we need to reach outside of our immediate circle, because changing it that quickly is not necessarily the way to do it.
Yeah.
That shadow work, it's an act of devotion. It's not punishment. It's allowing you to pull these pieces up that keep creeping out in unsuspecting places. And if you address them, then they're not going to sneak out. And it's not punishment. It's understanding. And a lot of times, once you understand where you got this belief from, and you understand what the belief is and where it restricts you, that is so freeing. It just really sets you free to continue with your momentum.
Yes. And a mentor or a coach, or also a support group, because sometimes you can find a group of people who are in a similar situation. I mean, that's the whole foundation of groups like AA and NA and Gamblers GA. They find someone that they get the support from people who get it. and are on a similar path, who maybe you'll grow together, maybe you won't, but there's that element of, oh, you mean I'm not crazy? You mean, oh, maybe if I hug my inner moppet, I'll feel better.
Well, and I think that we live in such a judgmental society. We're afraid to say anything. You know,
Right.
what are they going to think of me if they find out how I really think, what really makes me tick on the inside? Are they still going to be my friend, or are they going to send those little huggy jackets, you know?
Oh my gosh. And that comes so from childhood, because how many times were we told, don't say things like that, and you're trained to shut up and not speak. That happened. I think I told you, Amanda, I got kicked out of Sunday. My family's Norwegian Lutheran. I'm not, but they are. And they tried to put me in that. And I told the Sunday school teacher she was wrong when I was 9. I got kicked. She is not welcome back. She's not understanding the concepts. No, I understood the concepts perfectly well. They were wrong. And toxic religion.
Yeah.
And so that training of like, your inner knowing doesn't matter. You have to believe what we tell you to believe, even when it's going against everything in you. You can't make a living as an artist or a musician. You have to get a secure job as a pharmacist or an accountant,
or the educational path.
Oh,
you have to have a college education. You have to do. And, you know, my own personal life, I did all the things. I checked all the boxes.
Me too.
And on the inside, no, that was not the happy glowing house and picket fence. No. But being able to step forward and to step out of that and say, you know, folks, this isn't the real me. And then when you peel that back, that proverbial onion, when you go layer after layer after layer, and really address who you are and become who you're meant to be.
Yeah.
And that's, you know, today I just want to make sure that everybody looks at those shadows and that the mirror when you're in the grocery store line. That's kind of your number one tip. That's their tip line as to where you should look first.
Look first, and then practice radical self-love on yourself. I mean, you got to start somewhere. And the good news is that it gets easier and easier to let things go that are I heard someone once say that your soul loves you so much that they keep, you know how you feel like you're in a loop, like these memories just keep coming up and they keep making you angry or sad or whatever. And you keep going, why can't I let this go? And this teacher said, your soul loves you so much that they're showing you where your shadows are so that you can heal them. And radical self-love, Amanda, is the tool. Yeah. That's the tool.
That is the tool. And listening to yourself. And that's where, you know, if you're having a hard time connecting and people talk about the angel numbers, I see 111 all the time, or I see this. When you see it on repeat, that's a message, you know, and that's your nudge. And how long are you going to avoid it until you get smacked with it? I was talking to a mentor last week, and, you know, she's like, I've been pushing. And then, you know, I tripped and fell and I got sick, you know, or she had an injury that she needed to attend to.
Right.
And so when we're not attending to these things, they'll give you the nudge, and then they give you that smack upside the head.
The smack came for me on January 1st of this year. I went to the grocery store and my bill was $111.11 on January 1st, which in 2026 is a 1 year. I was like, oh my gosh, smack.
You know, and you know, sometimes a mud puddle is just a mud puddle, but when you see it all the time, that's when you start looking at it.
Right.
You know, because I've been in those spaces where people will try to make something of everything, and it's like, no, it's not quite like that. It's not quite like that. It's not, every single cardinal doesn't necessarily mean the same thing. It's when you see it repeatedly.
Yes.
Eagles have been my recent message.
Ooh.
I've been going by a tree, and actually there are more than 12 eagles in a single tree.
Ooh,
And so for me, looking at that shaman side, that is where you need to step back and get that eagle eye view of everything that's going on. You're too close to it.
Oh, wow. On that note, I think it's time for us to take a quick break. So stay tuned, everybody. We'll be right back with Amanda Beth.
Everything we're made of contains light. From the sun that feeds our world to the energy that flows within us. With LifeWave X39, we've found a way to put that light to work. With X39, we achieved something remarkable in the field of wellness and science that others could not. By utilizing LifeWave's unique patented technology, X39 uses light to elevate GHK-Cu, a copper peptide known to support overall health and wellness. Unlike traditional light therapy, X39 uses the body's own infrared light to naturally increase vitality. By gently stimulating the skin with light, our non-invasive, non-transdermal X39 patches help you conquer your active lifestyle and pave a new way to vibrant health. Becoming a powerhouse is easier than you think. It all starts with your body and a little help from light. Place one LifeWave X39 patch on the body. Apply the patch to clean, dry skin in the morning. Patches may be worn for up to 12 hours before discarding. Keep well hydrated while using this product. Harness your natural potential. Reclaim youthful energy. Live long, live well, live young with LifeWave X39. Be the light. LifeWave.
Why do 98% of beauty enthusiasts rave about coolness? It's all in the blend of ancient wisdom and modern science. Introducing Coolness, Pearlescent Face and Eye Serum Cream. This powerhouse combines the antioxidative power of schisandra berries, the glow of pearl powder, and the hydrating wonders of dragon's blood extract. It's like a time machine for your skin, making it radiant, firm, and oh so smooth. Inspired by ancient Chinese traditions and backed by modern nutritional science, this serum cream is perfect for dry, mature, and aging skin. It's time to unlock your inner glow with Coolness. Treat your skin to the best of both worlds today.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Chronic Health Collective. We are having this wonderful discussion about radical self-love with Amanda Beth. So, Amanda, you said something right before the break that got me thinking during the break about seeing eagles and take that eagle eye view, taking the step back, looking at it from a different perspective. And I'm wondering about the shaman. Like, what other kinds of messages can people start to perceive in their life?
I think it's looking at the repeated patterns. So, like you said, I don't know that you could have gotten any more pattern on a 111 with a 11111 in your receipt. But then, if that keeps coming up continuously, that's when you look at it. So, I've been taking time to take care of myself, and I'm going to physical therapy, and I drive past this tree, and to have eagles sitting in a tree. And to have that many in a single tree, and then there's like 2 or 3 more in the tree next to it. And so if you can count them all, and they're threes, and three's a power number, so you can add numerology, looking at the animal. What animal do you keep seeing? You know, now sometimes sometimes a squirrel is just a squirrel when it's in your yard, you know. But when you're seeing something that you don't necessarily always see, that is those nudges. it's finding that message in what it is. And so looking at animal totems. And so if you see, hawks and birds of prey and things like that, and you're seeing them repeatedly in places that you don't always see them, to me, that's the signal that you need to be paying attention. Then I went yesterday and I was expecting to see those eagles in the tree because no one's believing me that there's that many. So I was slowed down. I was getting ready to take a picture. There wasn't a single eagle in the tree. So so that tells me that I must have received my message. And, here in Southeast Iowa, we have lots of eagles. They're abundant here. We see them frequently around the rivers and, doing their fishing thing that they do and that stuff. So that's where, yes, you're going to go and look at those resources if it's not something that you were already schooled in. What it means. Hummingbirds are, of joy and loving, different. There seems to be a lot with animals and looking at the animals that you see, and looking. Yeah, go ahead, Google that, find out what it is, and find the meaning for you, and then without it being a total rabbit hole of information, but how does it apply to me? How can I bring that into what I'm doing? What does it mean? For me, I've been working on getting this book finished, and I've been so in depth with that. And that will be released yet this month. So I'm really excited, but it also was that you need to step back from it. You need to look from a further distance. You need to look at all the other things that may be falling by the wayside because you're so driven on this one thing.
Oh, so yes. And also, would that also include looking at things that maybe you need to let go of so that you're not so overwhelmed? Because, again, especially women, we overwhelm ourselves with too much. We overcommit.
Mm-hmm. And I've started seeing a new series of posts that are about, like, instead of saying I'm overwhelmed, rephrasing that to I need to make a decision.
Oh,
I need to make a decision about what is important. Because, what you say, your mind is going to listen. I am so overwhelmed. Okay, let's show you. It's like asking for patience. We all know better than to ask for patience, because then you'll be given so many examples to prove that you already do have patience. It might mean I need to exercise my patience, but you don't want to say I'm overwhelmed. I need to make a decision.
Yes.
That's kind of shifting things semantically. And that's the same thing as we do this whole self-love it's also self-trust, that we trust ourselves to see the things that need to be changed, and that we can listen to them instead of stuffing them down, and we can listen to them as they come up instead of forcing them. I don't think we can necessarily go into meditation and say, okay, we're going to fix this today. If it's not in divine timing, it's not going to happen.
Right.
It's not going to happen. So, but I do think that, we get back to the whole fire horse concept. It's aligned because you're going to be able to put your boundaries in place without having all that guilt.
Mm-hmm.
You can do the movement that you need to in this momentum without destroying yourself.
Yes.
And being able to express your desires without apology. Because as you start digging into those shadows, you get to see the things that you've shoved down and you've denied to yourself.
Mm-hmm.
Those are the things that make them difficult, is to look at, what did I walk away from? What did I deny myself?
You mentioned people making their resolutions at the beginning of the year, which resolutions just don't work. It's more like decisions.
Statistically, they are all done, and people do not follow them after the second week of February. They are all gone.
They're all gone, right?
Yeah.
But if you make a decision, and I love what you said about what have you denied yourself, because what just popped in for me is how many people make a resolution to say lose weight, but instead of making a decision to do something that they love, such as take walking or swimming or running or yoga classes or dance classes or whatever it is, exercise to help you lose weight doesn't have to be difficult and hard. It can be fun, but as long as you pick the thing that you love. And so
because once you pick something that brings you joy and pleasure and that you can participate in, your body is in balance and harmony, and the weight just falls off.
Right.
Because your body, your unconscious doesn't understand lose weight. All it hears is weight.
Mm-hmm.
And I love the story of the person who took a sticky note and put over their scale, and they put their ideal weight was on the scale. So every time they stepped on the scale, they reinforced what their ideal weight is. Instead of saying, oh, I gained a pound. Oh, I shouldn't have had that whatever, that bonbon, one bonbon too many. And beating yourself up. I mean, I think that depending on why you're tracking your weight, for me, it's not about a number on the scale. It's about feeling better.
Yes.
So my scale gets pretty lonely. It's how my clothes fit, how I feel, and that's where getting out of my eating pattern, when I do sugar is the thing that makes me hurt, and it doesn't take much of it, because I'll have one thing that's sugary, and by tomorrow I will wake up and it's painful for me.
Oh.
So it's not about losing the weight, it's about quality of life.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I think that's the thing, is once you're doing things because they make you feel good, not because you're losing weight, not because, somebody else wants to see you do this or that. It's because of what you want.
Yeah. Radical self-love.
Yep. Yep. And so when you do love yourself, and there's I think Mel Robbins talks about high-fiving yourself in the mirror every day. You can't high-five somebody with negative energy. You can't. So if you high-five yourself, you're supporting yourself. Handwriting, people will say every time you sign your name, you need to underline it, showing that you support yourself and the universe supports you. There's those kind of things that you can do. But as you really embody this whole concept of self-love, loving you, the deep, gushy parts you never thought you would see again, then the decisions that you make become clearer, because you're working from the motivation of yourself, not taking care of everyone else. That falls into place.
Yes.
When you take care of yourself, your energy returns, you feel better. Your healing is collaborative, because then your body and your mind are working together in collaboration, and it's not combating each other. You're not shoving down that headache or that grief or whatever comes up. You allow yourself to feel it and to work in it.
Right. And that's the whole point. Avoiding doesn't work. Pretending that problem isn't there doesn't work. It just makes it grow and makes it worse.
And what you focus on grows. So if you focus on, gosh, I'm so overwhelmed, you're going to get more overwhelmed. Instead of saying, I'm making a decision. I'm making a decision on what's important to me. And then you can follow that path. It's real easy when you decide, instead of, looking at, 97 tabs are open, 10 are frozen, and I have no clue what I'm doing.
And you don't have to move forward, 800 steps at a time. Taking the example of someone who's trying to shift out of a soul-sucking job into something that fits with them, you can do one thing a day that that one thing a day moves you forward. You don't have to go, oh, I need to take 2 weeks off and work every day towards this new goal. You don't have to do that. You don't have to. You can make the decision not to overwhelm yourself and do baby steps. Baby steps get you there. I mean, think how fast a baby gets across the room.
Oh yeah.
You're
Like
back.
lightning. But those small steps, like I need to go for walks every day. So taking my tennis shoes and putting them next to the door. That's a step in the right direction, because radical self-love, it's not being gentle all the time, but it's being honest.
Yes.
And taking those baby steps to accomplish something. It's like eating an elephant. That was my workshop last month. How do you eat an elephant? You eat an elephant one bite at a time. And that's what working with coaches do. Coaches help you to decide what it is you're working on and to bring it into bite-sized pieces so that you can manage it. And I love the concept of the 12-week year. Don't schedule everything out for 12 months. Let's look at it. Let's revisit, because otherwise you don't revisit it for 9 months and then you're so far behind you can't catch up.
Right.
But if you're looking at it every 3 to 4 months, you can really get some traction. And that's what Firehorse is asking for. Not permission, but presence. Be present, be deliberate, be thoughtful, make those decisions. Take a look at what's going on and feed yourself from there.
Yes. And I keep feeling like there's that element, because it's fire, of burning away the stuff that doesn't work for you, that's not serving you.
Yeah.
And letting it go with grace, because it's okay to let go of things that aren't serving you.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can have, I have suggested, and I've seen it be very, very effective. If you've got, the physical clutter in your house, the physical things, or saying goodbye to the old job, have all your work supplies in a pile and have a funeral for it. Officially say goodbye. Say goodbye to the things that no longer serve you. If it's a physical representation, that makes it easier sometimes than some of these emotional and these limiting beliefs that you have. So yeah.
Wow, this is amazing. I think you've given me a lot to think about. I think a lot of people are going to be thinking about this in the coming weeks. Amanda, thank you so much.
Sure.
Hey, tell us about your new book.
Oh, so my new book is Stepping into Power. And it's kind of how we come about and coming out of the shadows. Living here in the Midwest, I did not speak up and say that I'm an intuitive healer for a very long time. I hid those shadows. So there is also a reflection guide that will be coming out as well with this book, so that you can take all the stuff you learn in the book and apply it to the activities that work for you. And that will be released yet this month, February 2026. I am so excited. And you can follow along and keep up with the updates at amandabethhealing.com/steppingintopower.
I have to give you a testimonial, because I had the pleasure of editing the book, and it is such a beautiful book. It is heart. It'll reach right to your heart and hold it peacefully in the book's hands. It's just a beautiful book. So yeah, you definitely want to check that out when it comes out.
Thank you, Kristy. Oh, and definitely, if you want someone to help you to sort through those shadows and kind of, bring in this Firehorse energy with the best, getting your best hoof forward, definitely look me up. You can contact me through amandabethhealing.com. I'm on all the platforms as well, so it's real easy to get in touch with me. We can do a discovery call and decide what path is going to be best for you.
Well, thank you everyone for tuning in to the Chronic Health Collective show with our featured guest speaker today, Amanda Beth. You can find us at chronichealthcollective.com. We're on Facebook under Chronic Health Collective, YouTube under Chronic Health Collective. You can see past episodes. And you can also find us streaming on E360 TV under the Vitality TV tab. So thank you, Amanda. Thank you. And thank you for asking me to join you today. I have just loved this discussion with you.
It's always a good time when we're together.
It is. Okay, everybody. We'll see you next week and practice radical self-love.
Yes.